喺啱啱過去嘅6月，我去咗一個北極旅行。北極行去嘅地方有格陵蘭、冰島、挪威、瑞典、芬蘭、加拿大、阿拉斯加同埋俄羅斯。講起去北極旅行，相信大部分人嘅印象都係冬天去芬蘭嘅聖誕老人村住玻璃屋睇北極光，但係其實夏天嘅北極係有坐探險遊輪嘅玩法㗎。一般遊輪旅行會坐嘅都係好 Q 大隻載幾千人嗰種船，主要都係玩船上面嘅設施，得閒上幾個鐘岸又翻上船，即係 Bob 叔坐嗰種。但係探險遊輪唔同，佢哋嘅船係會比較細隻，大部分載客量都唔會超過300人。船上面亦都會有專業嘅 Expedition Team 帶領客人進行登陸同埋其他活動，而且亦都冇一條固定嘅路線，而係探險隊會根據天氣或者佢哋嘅經驗而制定每日會去嘅地方，所以探險隊可以話係成個 trip 嘅靈魂。呢種玩法多數會去一啲探險性比較高嘅地方，例如南北極、Galapagos 同埋亞馬遜等等。今次我參加嘅就係 Quark Expedition 嘅10日 Svalbard 行程，主要集中遊覽 Spitsbergen 嘅西面。Svalbard 位於北緯74到85度，係屬於挪威嘅領土。成個群島嘅人口只有2000幾人，而且主要都係集中喺 Longyearbyen 呢個城市，其餘地方都係山同埋冰川。但係群島上面嘅北極熊數量就有成3000隻，係世界上北極熊密度最高嘅地方。所以如果你想 plan 一個 trip 去睇北極熊嘅話呢，呢個行程就啱晒你啦。行程嘅 day one 唔係直接上船，而係先搭飛機嚟到芬蘭首都 Helsinki。船飛包咗一晚行程酒店，所以會喺機場隔離間 Hilton 度 stay 一晚。一入酒店 lobby 就會見到 Quark 嘅易拉架，佢哋會喺2至7 PM 有個 hospitality desk 嘅，職員就會同你 brief 下第2日嘅安排。朝頭早7點半就要拎行李落嚟俾佢哋，然後跟翻自己個 group 集合去機場搭飛機去 Longyearbyen 上船啦。呢間就係我喺度住一晚嘅房。望落去都唔錯，但係佢就冇俾到牙膏牙刷 set 啊、梳啊、浴袍同拖鞋嗰啲。過去水位仲要係流水添。lunch 都係翻入機場入面食，選擇都唔少，有 cafe、Burger King、Subway 同 Food Court。我最後喺 Food Court 一間韓國菜叫咗個炸雞漢堡。都唔錯，埋單盛惠150蚊港紙。因為懶家窮，我決定喺超市買三文治做晚餐。第一日休息下，做下嘢咁就完啦。夜晚早啲瞓，聽朝準備一早起身食早餐，搭飛機。嚟到 Day 2，朝早6點半我就落到餐廳食早餐，然後7點半就拎行李落嚟。Quark 嘅地接就會幫我哋拎去機場先，然後我哋再跟翻自己 group 嘅集合時間一齊行去機場，然後就會 check in 出境飛去 Svalbard。3個鐘左右呢，就飛到 Svalbard 嘅城市 Longyearbyen 啦。距離上船仲有大概2個鐘嘅時間，所以佢哋就會車我哋去市中心，俾我哋自由活動一陣，然後就會接返我哋去碼頭再登船。雖然呢個只係一個得2000人口嘅小城鎮啦，但係乜都應有盡有，有學校、醫院、酒吧，一間好大嘅超市，一個商場，而且有好多間酒店。啱先都講咗呢個群島嘅北極熊數量呢係多過人，所以喺度嘅居民都會有槍，一旦遇到北極熊嘅襲擊呢，就會用嚟自救。喺返城市入面會安全啲，商場同超市等等嘅地方都會有告示唔可以拎槍入去。 但係當走到比較外圍嘅地方呢，就會有北極熊嘅警告，攞翻支槍就安全啲啦。2個鐘頭後，我哋終於要上船啦。
So you always wait for your driver's hand when you're getting in. It's like a handshake, but forearm to forearm. Yeah. Hello, ready? Oh. Sailor's grip. That's it. Look at you.
Don't do it now, but that would take just a... 呢隻就係我嚟緊8日會坐嘅 Ultramarine。呢間就係我住嘅 Balcony Suite。settle 好之後，我哋就去到演講廳度聽 briefing。呢位就係我哋嘅探險隊隊長 Ryan。佢首先會介紹下船嘅唔同設施啦，然後就會同我哋講解第2日嘅日程。每日嘅日程好簡單，朝早7點半或者8點會有個 morning call 起身食早餐，大約10點呢就會有第一次嘅 excursion， 可以係 landing 或者 Zodiac cruising。如果參加咗啲額外活動，例如 kayaking 同 paddling 呢，都會分批進行。每節 excursion 大約個半鐘左右，朝早嗰節完結咗就會翻上船食 lunch， 然後晏晝隻船就會駛到去第2個地方，再進行第2次嘅 excursion。翻到嚟唞唞就會有一個 recap and briefing section， 去回顧翻當日去過嘅地方啊，見到嘅動物啊，同埋講解一啲關於唔同範疇嘅知識，以及 forecast 下第2日嘅天氣狀況同埋計劃。完咗呢個 section 之後就會食晚飯，食完飯亦都可以選擇去聽每晚都會有唔同主題嘅講座，或者係提早翻房休息。聽完呢個 briefing 之後呢，就係晚飯時間啦。船上面得呢一間主餐廳嘅啫，早午晚餐都係喺度食噶啦。早午餐會係 buffet， 晚餐係 à la carte， 但係第一晚呢，就安排咗個 buffet dinner 俾我哋。雖然得一間餐廳，但係每日嘅 menu 其實都會轉嘅，有唔同嘅菜式可以食，所以都唔使擔心會食厭。最重要係每日3餐同埋酒水都係全包，唔使再俾錢噶啦。船上面嘅第一晚完。第2朝我6點半就醒咗啦，因為第一次喺船上面瞓覺，雖然唔係話好大浪，但係點都有啲啷啷下唔係好習慣，就瞓得唔係咁好。但係一瞓醒見到呢個景，即刻成個人都精神晒。呢個就係今日嘅行程。今日我哋會去睇2個冰川 ，hea 咗一陣，7點半呢就去餐廳度食早餐。早餐 buffet 朝朝 serve 嘅嘢其實都差唔多，同普通酒店嘅早餐冇咩分別。食完早餐之後，我就去咗上一個 paddling 嘅 briefing， 因為我報咗名參加 paddling， 而今日咁好天呢，我個組就會喺今日嘅晏晝進行，所以而家就由 PIC Molly 講解一次，同埋教我哋着 dry suit。好快，我哋就到咗呢個朝早嘅目的地。我哋成隻船有 around 150人，參加咗 kayaking 或者 paddling 嗰啲呢就會出發先，而其餘嘅人呢就會分為4組坐 Zodiac 落水。我組係 Kittiwake。呢度就係 Deck 2嘅 Ready Room， 喺度着好晒防水靴、parka 同埋救生衣之後，就係時候出發啦。
Nah, I'm exaggerating.
I'll get everybody to move up on the right, please. Good morning. My name is Artie.
Morning.
Aboard.
Do you want us to move?
Boom. So my that nothing.
佢就係琴日載我上船嘅 Artie，係探險隊入面嘅鳥類學家。
Polar regions. If I
探險隊係由唔同範疇嘅專家組成，例如有鳥類學家、海洋學家、生物學家、地質學家同埋歷史學家等等，個個咧都係做咗好多年好有經驗嘅 team member。有咩問題咧，隨時捉住佢哋問就得㗎啦。好快我哋就嚟到一個好多雀喺上面嘅小島，坐正喺 Artie 隻 Zodiac 就啱晒啦，因為佢對北極嘅所有 seabird 都了如指掌。然後就俾我哋 spot 到成個旅程嘅第一隻海豹。
bearded seal up to 250 kilos.
喺不遠處呢，又見到另一群海象，一共有4隻。然後仲有一隻唔知點解孤零零咁喺另外一嚿冰上面。呢種咁得意嘅雀呢，就係 Kittiwake 啦。大概個半鐘嘅 Zodiac Cruising 完咗之後，就到 lunch time。食完個 lunch 有啲時間，我去咗船上面嘅 boutique store 行下。呢度有衫、精品同埋一啲日用品。除咗手信之外，我都喺度買咗支太陽油同埋一對手套。好快我哋就駛到去第二個地方，大名鼎鼎嘅7月14冰川。呢度都係一個好多 seabird 嘅棲息地。今次我就唔坐 Zodiac，因為輪到我玩 paddling 啦。首先我哋做一個自我介紹，認識咗大家先。然後因為 paddling 係要2個人一組，所以好似我咁單人報名嘅話呢，就會喺呢個時候分埋組。就係咁，我同咗 Gary 一組啦。Molly 好簡單咁教咗我哋點樣划水之後，就係時候落艇啦。今日好彩俾我哋見到2隻 Puffin。呢種雀喺冰島有幾十萬隻，但係喺 Svalbard 嘅數量就得好少。可惜玩 paddling 就冇得帶大炮，影唔到相。然後仲俾我哋見到北極湖。但係因為離得太遠太細粒，而家睇返我連自己影緊咩都唔知。 然後仲見到馴鹿添。返到船上面就係 recap and briefing section 同埋船長嘅歡迎酒會。Thank you。首先，我哋嘅 Expedition Team Member 會正式介紹下自己，佢哋嚟自美國、加拿大、挪威、法國、阿根廷、紐西蘭同埋台灣都有，亦都好似頭先所講，個個都係嚟自唔同領域嘅專家，個個都好犀利。
I'm passionate about ice and rocks, so come and find me for any question. I tend to explain everything with food.
然後就係我哋嘅船長 Roy 哥出嚟同我哋祝個酒。
Welcome on board everyone. Cheers.
跟住就係一個正常嘅 recap and briefing 啦。我哋有 Artie 同我哋講觀鳥，仲有歷史學家講一啲 Spotlight 嘅探險歷史。對唔住，我唔記得咗佢個名。最後當然有 Team Leader Ryan 大佬同我哋 brief 下聽日嘅天氣 forecast 同埋會去嘅地方。
Nautical miles, that is, north.
終於有阿拉卡食。
Hi, welcome to Black Expeditions. Enjoy your voyage. Cheers.
今日仲有 Moniz 陪我食飯 ，Expedition Team 都會喺食飯時間同客人一齊食，傾下偈咁樣。食完飯呢，我就返咗房休息啦。房入面嘅電視除咗有戲睇之外，亦都可以睇到每日嘅 rundown， 仲有晚飯後嗰個 talk。如果你唔想落去 theatre 聽嘅話呢，都可以喺電視度睇直播。好似今晚咁就係攝影師 Simon 教大家影相，但係今日玩得太開心呢，我好早就瞓咗覺啦。先第一日 excursion 就有咁好嘅天氣，又見到海豹、海象同咁壯麗嘅冰川，你有冇啲心喐喐都想 book 翻個北極行程呢？但係要 book 一個啱自己嘅行程，其實一啲都唔簡單，係有好多考慮因素，例如唔同出發日期可以去嘅地方又唔同啦，而市面上咁多間船公司，咁多隻船，又應該點揀呢？一張船飛平極都要至少幾萬蚊，如果買咗張唔啱自己嘅船飛，就真係同抌錢落海冇咩分別。呢個時候就可以揾我哋 Let's Go to Arctic 啦。Let's Go to Arctic 同 Let's Go to Antarctica 係一間專營南北極嘅旅行社，可以根據每個客人嘅需求提供專業嘅意見，同埋幫你預訂適合嘅船票。我哋直接同船公司合作，除咗會有 exclusive 嘅優惠可以幫你揾到平飛之外，亦都會有人跟進你成個旅程。開業5年嚟，我哋已經幫助超過300位客人預訂佢哋嘅心水船票。Let's Go to Arctic 同 Let's Go to Antarctica 嘅聯絡資料亦都擺咗喺 info box 度。如果你都對南北極探險郵輪有興趣嘅話，歡迎同我哋傾下。Day 4船上面嘅第3日，7點鐘準時做個靚 gym。Gym room 喺頂樓 Deck 7，呢層除咗 gym 之外，仲可以做 spa 同埋 sauna。另外都有一間細啲嘅餐廳，但係北極 trip 呢就唔會開放嘅。重點就係船頭嘅 Panorama Lounge， 呢度就係船上面最主要嘅觀景台，可以喺度沖杯咖啡或者叫杯 cocktail， 坐喺梳化上面超住睇景。如果 Expedition Team 見到啲咩動物，都會開咪廣播，我哋就會湧晒出嚟睇㗎啦。做完 gym 食埋早餐，又係時候出 excursion 啦。今次我哋唔坐 Zodiac， 而係終於可以做 landing， 踏足北極。
On shore, life jackets can go in the barrels. You can just horseshoe. You can leave them on until then. Just kind of horseshoe over the side.
喺出發之前有一個好重要嘅 briefing， 就係一旦我哋遇到北極熊應該點做呢？
If we see a bear at any distance, doesn't matter. Could be 200 feet away. Could be hopefully not 50 feet away. The first and foremost thing we want to do is remain calm, quiet.And this is a personal thing for me. Guides can be a little bit different about this, but I want everyone to be in a line, and I want you to have a hand on someone, and someone have a hand on you.
呢個做法係令到我哋望落好似一個好大嘅物體去嚇走隻北極熊。千祈唔好做嘅嘢就係唔跟大隊行。Landing 都會根據速度嚟分組進行，最 intense 嗰組呢就係咁行， 有咁遠行咁遠，唔會有時間俾你停低望下風景、影下相。而最 chill 嗰組呢，大部分時間都會係休息，唔會行太遠。我就揀咗中間偏慢嗰組，因為我要成日停低影相拍片，拎住咁多 gear，就算唔使行好遠，個運動量對我嚟講已經好夠。
In Svalbard, you can see snow, but this snow is not water.
呢位係嚟自台灣嘅 Sylvia， 佢做咗 Expedition Team 已經有8年經驗。沿路上我哋見到少量嘅直披，佢就同我哋講解下。
Because they need to catch the very short time.
I like to talk about geomorphology, which is
可以啊，不是拉的嘛就可以了。
行完個山翻上船又係食 lunch 嘅時間。今日下晝我哋就冇出去做 excursion， 因為我哋經過一大片浮冰嘅區域，而呢啲地方就係北極熊主要嘅棲息地，所以我成個晏晝都喺 Panorama Lounge 度一路影相一路等。行下，我哋就見到一隻海象。然後又見到一隻海豹。但係好可惜，最後都係見唔到北極熊。我哋一路向北，最後嚟到 Svalbard 最北嘅一個島。嚟到一個咁特別嘅地方，梗係要上直升機坪賀一賀佢啦。飲完酒之後，就嚟到最緊張刺激嘅環節 ，Polar Plunge。
And then you can go down to Molly here.
Hi Molly. Okay.
I'm gonna clip you.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, jump!
好爽！我建議每個參加呢個 trip 嘅人都要跳一次。跳完水又係時候聽講座啦。今次到 Kelly 教我哋睇座標，同埋講解下點解風速會用 knot 嚟做單位。然後又到歷史佬講歷史，同埋地質學家 Pauline 講下冰川嘅形成，真係每晚都學到好多嘢。
This is how it started. That's what it is now. That's why we didn't go Zodiac cruising up there, because I knew the conditions were going to change. The team spent an awful lot of time looking, so applause to the expedition team for spending time staring into those caves.
食埋個晚飯 ，Day 4完。下集我哋去揾更多嘅海象，更多嘅馴鹿，當然唔少得，仲有我哋嘅主角北極熊啦。